Here you go.
Okay.
Let's go in 3, 2, 1.
Ready.
Turn around. What's up, everyone? We have another version of A&T Kitchen. This is
B.
and Tommy. Today we have an amazing meal for you. It is pizza frittata. So why are we doing pizza frittata today?
Well, we named it that because the end result looks essentially like a pizza. It's not pizza, but I have 5 children. 3 of them are toddlers, so toddlers are basically insane, and you have to constantly please them and make them eat their veggies and all that. So the thing is, when we're done with this frittata, you'll see, because I broil it in the end, and it kind of makes it golden and caramelized and all that yummy stuff. So it looks like a pizza, and then I cut it into triangles, therefore pizza frittata.
Yeah, and it's, as you may know, it's psychological warfare here in the kitchen when you have kids, just dealing with lots of clients and them asking me how to make their kids eat healthier. So, smoothies, and there's a lot of different ways to put in vegetables and really good minerals and items into foods, but naming actually the foods a little bit differently, a little bit more creative, will actually be able to throw some veggies in there, some spinach, some mushrooms, different things that you'll see right now. But naming it pizza frittata, mentally they're thinking of they're gonna get pizza, but really it's just eggs and veggies and some really good stuff. So we're gonna get right into it right now. Let's do it.
Here we go. So I'm going to talk about my cooktop real quick, which you probably can't see very well, but I do not have gas burners. It's just personal preference. I grew up in Europe,
right here.
cooking electric. So this is an induction cooktop, and honestly, the number one reason why I cook on an electric or an induction cooktop is the cleanup, because I don't like cleaning up gas burners all day and taking that thing apart. So essentially I can cook on any of these surfaces, any part of the surface that you put a pot or pan. So right now what I'm doing is I put a little bit of coconut oil in the pan. I'm letting that melt. One of my favorites. Tell me, talk about
So
that.
starting off with coconut oil right here. This is a big one, starting off, just giving you guys some education. Cooking with coconut oil over olive oil. So my big reason for that is coconut oil has a lower tolerance to heat. So when you actually cook with olive oil, typically you'll see it smoke a lot faster, it'll burn faster, hence it'll be more carcinogenic for your body and unhealthy. So coconut oil has a really high tolerance to heat, so it won't burn up quicker. It's antifungal, it's antibacterial, super good for the skin. Amazing fats, MCTs, triglycerides. So
and don't forget the flavor. I mean, come on, it tastes
flavor.
amazing.
Yeah.
You saute anything in coconut oil, it just gives a little sweetness to it, like anything, even chicken or steak. I cook pretty much with coconut oil like 24/7, the majority of the time.
Absolutely. And olive oil, when you think about it, should be really just used for drizzling over salads and foods and meats. So coconut oil, multi-versatile, you can use it for so many things, but cooking is definitely one of them.
So I start a little bit over here. I just have a little bit of chopped up red onion.
Bring it to the camera for you guys.
Here you
right
guys
there.
go.
Ooh,
It's
smoking
either
up.
like a small red onion like this big, easy. So I used to cook very differently before I had all these children, because I had the luxury of time. And I do like the craft of cooking a lot, and I used to chop, all perfectly and flawless, and it looked like amazing. But I don't really have the time now, so I chop veggies. Look, I clean them, I chop them, I move on. It doesn't have to be perfect, especially the beauty of a frittata.
Yeah.
You don't have to, it's all in there together, and you don't have to be intimidated by not being like a chef on a regular. You just chop it up and saute.
Exactly.
No big deal.
So we got the onions in there first,
Yeah.
cooking up. You always want to start to the longer items of cooking to the ones that cook the fastest, obviously. That's why we put in onions. Onions super healthy, good prebiotic, good antioxidants in there, good for digestive system. So starting off, what do we have next?
And then the next thing are the mushrooms. You want to talk about the mushrooms?
Mushrooms.
So the
got
mushrooms.
that right there.
I want to say something about mushrooms. Actually, I have a tap.
He's got something to say about mushrooms. Where are you
So,
going?
I'm just getting something. So I've cooked for a lot of people, and I've done a lot of entertaining.
Organic, obviously.
And seriously, the number one thing that people don't like to eat are mushrooms. If I host a dinner party or I have people over and I ask them, is there anything you don't eat or your family doesn't eat? I feel like hands down, mushroom is the number one. And I don't know why, because I think mushrooms are delicious, and I think it is how you cook them. And if they are like rubbery and soggy and like, oh, it doesn't taste
They
good.
could be nasty, yeah.
They have to be a little crispy. You have to completely evaporate all the water out of them.
Mushrooms get a bad rap, and if you look at it
I don't know why.
right now, there's a lot of supplemental mushrooms out there because of the known benefits. And there's a wide variety of mushrooms, and we have a mixed bag of organic mushrooms we're using right now to cook, but besides many of the health benefits, it is a master antioxidant, super good for immunity and your health. There's just really good benefits behind the mushrooms, and if you look at it right here, organic trumpet, clamshell, we have maitake, shiitake, there's a bunch of different varietals in here, really good one. So the mushrooms right there, make sure once again, as we stress enough, it is organic. Everything needs to be organic. So be slicing and dicing some onions and mushrooms right there.
Yeah, I'm just kind of sauteing it up. So
Smells really good.
smells good. I put a little bit of salt. I love using this salt grinder, my favorite. It's sea salt at Trader Joe's, but I love that I don't have to stick my finger in it. I can just find it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about salt for a second because I literally just put like, I mean, what is equivalent to a pinch in there. I think that when I eat so much at home, probably 90% of my life, I eat what I cook at home.
Exactly.
Because it's not fun yet to go out much with toddlers to restaurants. And then if I do go out to dinner with my husband, I feel like the number one thing I notice is how incredibly salty food is.
High sodium.
It's
tons
insane.
tons of salt.
And if you're used to eating at home a lot, eating your own food, then you really become sensitive to that. I don't care about the grease, but the
Yeah.
salt, it really gets me. So notice that when you cook, especially with eggs or veggies, it doesn't need much salt. You want to taste
Make sure
the veggies.
high quality Himalayan sea salt the best. And she has a great point. One thing when you're going out to eat, kids, family, watch out for the sodium levels. Super salty. And I think it's the national daily intake on average. They recommend it 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams of salt. It really should be under 500, hands down. Too much salt will increase your blood pressure, cholesterol. So make sure you're not putting too much salt, a little sprinkle of Himalayan sea salt. What we got next?
Next, fennel. One of the most underrated vegetables ever.
Fennel.
So I want to show, this is already my cleaned up, chopped up fennel, which essentially looks like,
I'm gonna go get
Onion.
the real
get the
fennel.
big guy. So I am shocked because a lot of people don't even know what fennel is.
This is fennel right here. I got my hair back actually right here.
So a lot
So
of
that's what fennel looks like if you guys have never seen it before.
a lot of people don't even know what fennel is. If I say, oh, it has fennel in it, it is, I think, one of the most underrated vegetables ever. It's smooth, it's mild.
It's super clean. It almost has like a licorice, minty
It's
taste
yummy.
to it. It's great raw in salads.
It's-
Great for cooking in coconut oil.
It's great with fish, which
Fish,
I'm sure
yeah.
further down the road we're going to do an episode with fish and
Absolutely.
salted fennel. Delicious.
But health benefits of fennel, it is super good for your digestive system. Great for clearing out if you're gassy. For kids, it's really good for colic for babies. Really high in vitamin C also. So make sure you start bringing fennel to your life and your food.
Yeah, so fennel, I really like it. Again, the way you deal with this beast is I basically trim the bottom off and I cut the hair and then I wash it really good. I might peel one layer and then I just chop it. I chop it like an onion.
One thing to notice is you can still use this
Yes.
for salads and the actual bulb of the fennel, not the stem though. The stem's really not that good. So yeah, start getting that fennel in.
And so the other thing about fennel, and Tommy touched on it a little bit in regards to babies, so where I grew up, it's very popular.
Where'd you grow up?
Oh, Germany. Germany. So it's very popular to give babies and infants and toddlers fennel tea. And they drink it room temperature or warm because it calms the tummy. And in the US, actually, like they do overseas as well, they have something called gripe water, which is essentially fennel extract. And you can give that to babies from day one. And it calms their tummy, it aids in digestion. So fennel is amazing. But a lot of people, again, don't even know what that vegetable looks
Exactly.
like or where you buy it. So
Start putting fennel in your diet.
let's talk about
Ooh, that's smelling really good right now. I got the spinach.
spinach, organic.
So,
Hold on, let me show this for 1 second. Sorry to interrupt. So you guys see, I got
Steaming, baby. It's steaming.
the mushrooms have cooked down quite a bit. You're gonna burn yourself. He eats everything. He's gonna eat that whole thing before we get out. He's gonna eat it. I know he's gonna eat the whole thing.
So the only reason I do this is to eat all the food.
So you see the mushrooms are cooking down. The liquid is evaporated, and after the liquid was gone, I added the fennel. So I'm gonna keep going, caramelize a little bit more while Tommy talks about the.
So spinach. One thing to notice with spinach, you don't want it withered. You don't want it brown. These are beautiful spinach leaves. Really high in vitamin K amongst many vitamins. But one thing to know is organic, especially with spinach, you want organic. And one thing they never talk about is organic vegetables hold the secondary nutrients that is 10 times more potent in cleaning up cancer-causing agents. So whenever you get any type of vegetable, anything in general, make sure it is organic.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm gonna throw the spinach in there.
One thing with spinach too, it can be eaten raw, but also when you cook it, it actually opens up the leaves, and for intake of vitamins, it's actually better for absorption, but make sure you do not overcook the spinach.
So spinach, wilts in 2 seconds. You have like a big thing of spinach, and then you put it in a pan, and it melts down in like the matter of seconds to nothing.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to buy a lot of spinach. You'll use it, you'll saute it, you'll get it done. So since my pan is hot already, it'll wilt down really, really fast. I just kind of keep stirring it.
I'm gonna bring the camera, show them what you're doing over here.
There you go.
There it is.
I'm a little messy, I'm a little sloppy today.
You're not sloppy at all.
I'm getting
Look
it
at that.
done. So see how the spinach kind of turns dark? And I am cooking on high heat. So my highest is 9. I'm going to turn this up so it will.
What do you have the heat on right now, B?
All the way up.
All the way up.
High heat.
Turning all the way up right here. High heat, baby.
Because the veggies already sauteed and we just want to wilt the spinach and then we're going to go to the oven in a minute. So essentially we're done. Also, this is a vegetarian dish today. Obviously, we don't have anything in here.
Vegetarian dish.
But I wanted to point out, I have made this frittata many, many times. Throwing in the little crumbles of bacon, chopped up chicken sausage. My husband loves it when I put a little meat in it,
We're actually thinking of calling it the kitchen sink frittata because you can really throw anything in there, right? Any veggie, any type of meat, any cheese in there.
Yeah. So this is how this is looking. And now, Tom, you should talk about eggs because
Oh yeah.
we're going to do the eggs next.
Eggs. So one thing with the eggs, as with vegetables, I'll probably say this over and over again, but making sure the eggs are organic. So from the farmer's market, I view as the best source of eggs. Second would be getting organic, these pasteurized eggs. These are from where'd you get these from? Whole Foods?
Whole Foods,
Or
yes.
Trader Joe's?
Whole Foods.
These are Whole Foods organic eggs. Now looking from a nutritional fact standpoint, non-organic, organic, farmer's eggs, they're gonna say the same thing, right? Fat, protein, so you say, why would I spend $3-4 more for organic raised eggs? The thing is how they were treated. You don't want eggs, where the chicken was exposed to all sorts of fertilizers, all sorts of chemicals, they're stuck in a barn. You want open range organic eggs is number one.
So-
And then let's talk about, more importantly, the yolk.
Yes.
right?
Oh my gosh. So, well, first of all, in the meantime, I scrambled these lightly with a fork. No big deal. You don't have to make a science out of it. Look, you can take this further. You can put almond milk in this, regular milk in this. You can thicken it up. You can extend the eggs by adding something. I don't like it. I like to use plain eggs. So,
Yeah.
let's
Do you
talk.
add anything in there to whip it up?
No.
I feel like a lot of people
I
throw
don't do
water, throw cream.
No,
You don't
I
do
don't
anything,
do it.
right?
I don't
Yeah.
use it. I don't use any of it. So the big thing is, these are 7 whole eggs.
Whole
I
eggs.
do not separate eggs. The only time in my life I've ever separated an egg is if I make a chocolate souffle and I need to whip up a meringue,
Yeah.
which a meringue is egg whites with sugar beaten to death. So I eat the whole egg.
The whole
But I
egg.
think it's like an American thing.
Yeah, it is. You
To
know,
only
when
eat
that
half
craze, I think it was a craze like 15 plus years ago when everyone went on this organic, this egg white, because they thought the yolk was bad for you, high cholesterol. I think it's all BS. We know it's BS. Cholesterol isn't even that huge of a marker to indicate your health. But egg yolks is where all the nutrients are. So you should be having the full egg. The egg whites doesn't carry, it's like half of the protein. None of the nutrients are in there. So you want the full egg when you're having eggs.
Yes.
100%.
So, and I also think the egg just tastes so much better. I
Yeah.
mean, to me, egg whites are like, nah, I'd rather chew on a piece of
Nasty.
paper. I mean, you want like the whole egg, you know? So,
Paper is delicious, by the way.
so, okay, in the meantime, what I did was I literally lightly scrambled the eggs. Basically, I poked the egg yolk so it mixes well. And I pour it into the pan. And you don't have to do much. You can let the egg set a little bit.
I want to bring it to let them show them what this is all about right here.
So I just put them in there. I'm so on high heat. I'm just letting it set just a little bit. See how it kind of, the egg just kind of sets. And while it's doing that, I'm
So
going,
high heat, just letting it settle
yes.
in the pan.
And so what I do next, and this is where I use my fingers because I'm crumbling this up. I put
Oh, you're not using your gloves today?
Not today, no gloves.
Hope your hands are clean.
Well, oh my gosh. They're clean, don't worry. So anyway, so I use organic feta cheese. And I just crumble this on top, which basically gives it the pizza look, I like to say.
Wow, look at this pizza, Mom. This looks great.
Yeah, well, they don't see this part. They see it when it comes out of the oven. I hide this part. Hence the cooking right now, right at lunchtime when all the toddlers are sleeping, because they don't know what's going on down here right now. They don't know what's up. So I put a little feta, like so, and then I'm done. I turn the oven off. And now I have to wash my hands, but we're going to take this to the
So
oven.
feta cheese is one of the better cheeses from sheep or goat. Yes, cheese can be high in sodium, also high, in potassium, but it does have good fats in them. It has a little bit of protein. My thing with cheese is if you can source it from the highest quality or raw, that is definitely the best cheese. And sprinkling a little bit on for a pizza frittata is not that bad.
So I have one more little thing in the end, which sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. It just depends on if it looks good at the market and I buy it. This is just chopped up chives, very popular where I'm from. People love scrambled eggs with little chives on top. It gives it like a little extra flavor. It's really good. My kids don't really like it, but they sometimes don't know what's in it. You don't have to put
Why
like
do
a
you like it? The taste?
The flavor, yeah.
Flavor.
It's like a very,
Yeah.
very mild onion, like very, and but it makes it look pretty, a little green. So I want to sprinkle just a little, just to help the spinach a little bit with its look. And we're taking this to the oven, broiler.
Let's go. It's almost ready.
So I'm putting this
Cannot
in the
wait
broiler.
We're gonna follow B to the boiler real quick. Here we go.
Okay, here's my oven. Nothing fancy. It is fancy because I have a Gaggenau and I'm obsessed with it. But all you do is, like you put the rack pretty much on the most top position, and you just put the whole pan in there. So you're gonna watch this. Do not leave this alone. You don't want to go and take a shower or get the meal because the broiler's gonna work quickly, and the feta cheese caramelizes really, really fast. And also,
So people out there that don't have access to obviously something really cool like this, what do they do to broil the top of it and kind of fill it out?
nothing. This is just a standard oven. It's just a fancy brand, but if you have an oven, you're fine. You just put it up to the top, top rack. And then,
What did you broil or 500?
broiling 500, yeah.
Nice.
So, two important things before I forget. You want to use a pan that is oven proof. It's very important. You don't want to put a pan in there that's not oven proof. The other thing, which is I'm going to show you when I take it out, this will resonate more with people who cook a lot like I do when you're in a rush or you're distracted with children. Because you can cook without a glove on, stovetop, right? You're sauteing, the handle doesn't get hot. Well, in the oven it will. And let me tell you how many times I've opened up the
Burn
oven
your hand.
and grab the handle.
Same here.
So it happens, you're in a rush or you're in a moment and you're used to using that stove top. So wear a glove when you get that out. I'm gonna get it.
How much time we got?
Couple minutes.
I'm getting hungry over here.
Couple minutes. It's gonna get brown.
So how many servings will this make?
So I would say this is probably, 4 to 5 servings.
So I could eat the whole thing.
Yeah. So
For a grown man.
we were talking about this. I was saying Tommy and my husband would probably eat one of those in one sitting. But again, you can make it more rich and more caloric if you add a little sausage or bacon, which then don't salt the veggies because you don't need it.
Then you can also add toppings like avocado, tomato on top.
Yeah, so my kids, I will give them a slice of toast with it, avocado on the side. And here's the thing with the kids. You know, the toddlers, so my youngest are 3.5-year-old twins, and then I have a 2-year-old. They will pretty much try anything if they see me eat it. It's very interesting to me how I'm finally sitting down to eat my meal after I feed all of them, and I'm thinking we are full, and then it looks interesting to them what I eat. So you want to make sure you eat what you cook, and then they're going to try it. And I always say to my kids, at least try it. My 9-year-old son, my oldest boy, is the pickiest eater out of all of them.
Picky little boy that you're.
Oh my gosh.
Let's talk about the single life for a second.
Yeah.
As a single guy,
Leftover.
you can use that as leftovers. Literally, I make that all the time. I can have it for dinner, breakfast, and or lunch, so you can use it multiple purposes. I typically eat 4, maybe 5 eggs every single day. And once again, like I talked about in the beginning of the episode, is throwing all those veggies in, fennel, broccoli, cauliflower, whatever I have, whatever I got at the farmer's market. I really do a big scramble or a pizza frittata, something like this, and I'll cut it in half, save the rest of it for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's just an awesome complete meal. And I typically add maybe a little bit of avocado on top if I'm doing a little bit more like a fat-based ketogenic type diet. So it really works for everything.
And it's great too, if you make this for your children and you want to add baby broccoli or peppers or something that is takes a little longer to soften it. I know we like the raw crunchy and all that, but the kids are like, no. So you want to, what you've seen in the first steps with me sauteing the veggies, what I do sometimes when I do throw broccoli in there and I chop it up, I put the lid on just for a couple minutes, because then those veggies that take a little longer, a little bit more crunchy, they steam in that, and then you take the lid off, you let it evaporate, and then you put the eggs. So it's coming.
Are you ready?
Almost.
No?
A minute.
Oh my goodness. I'm starving.
So
I fasted all day today just for this moment.
he's going to eat the whole thing. So I let it cool down completely if I store it, if I don't eat the whole thing. So I cut it literally in pizza slices, and I store it in like a glass container in the refrigerator. So
super easy. How long will it stay for in the fridge? Maybe 2 days, a day?
it never
I
lasts.
really want to eat it again. It never lasts long
I
anyway.
mean, nothing in my house lasts long. I have so many people here that are eating that it's pretty quick. But I think 2 to 3 days.
And talking about like the cost of a complete meal
Oh
and a
my gosh.
leftover meal, it's probably under $10.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe if that.
Yeah.
So,
Amazing. Okay, we're looking good.
I mean, you go to one of your breakfast spots or dinner spots, a single costs, $15, $14.99. So, ooh,
It's hot.
there it is.
Here we go,
Ready
guys.
over here? Let's follow me. Follow me.
See how the hot heat, the broiling, you guys, it gets it done, because that's what makes the egg kind of puff. And see how slippery it is? So all I do now is I put it on a plate. Watch. The plate. So if you put it on a plate right away, it'll cool down much faster.
Oh, hold on. I want to see that. Yeah, look at that. Look at that pizza.
There we go. Pizza
Oh,
frittata.
Mom's got that pizza ready. Look at that.
Ooh, bon appetit. That's it for this week, right?
Okay, so you want to cut it up real quick? Just show, or is it not ready?
It's hot.
Yeah, it's
I don't
hot. So you
touch
want to
it.
let it settle
You
for
know
a
what
couple
a pizza
minutes.
looks like. Just
It's
cut
a
it into
pizza.
triangles.
Yeah, cut it in triangles, and you got your pizza frittata. So that's it for this week. If you have any questions, comments below. If you want to see something else that's amazing to cook in a kitchen for a family of 7, or just you're living that single life, you're by yourself, or maybe you got a hot date and you want to cook something, comment below. Ask questions below. We got your back. We'll reach out immediately. So that's it. We'll see you guys next week on the 4th of July. We're going to do a B&T Kitchen grilling episode. We got something
Barbecue.
secret for you. It's
Oh,
going
it's
to
gonna
be
be
amazing.
good.
Make sure you watch it before you start grilling on the 4th of July. Have a great week, everybody. See
Thank
y'all later.
you. Bye.